I want to, in a few minutes, get to move to how we systematically actually start looking at all of this stuff. But I want to make sure that we really have the universe of issues, at least on the board here. Anything else we're missing?
Environmental justice issue. The people that live around that hole in the ground you're going to be doing, like the people on the Fairhaven side, they got a marina there on Pope side, and that thing is going to be. And during the summer, we have a lot of boats that are there. Are you going to tell these people that what's going on?
You know what? So I'm going to consider this. There's sort of an O&M. We didn't talk about this, and this is one that's missing. Is the technical question about the management, the management of this area. Let's say that this happens. Management of this area over the long term. What are the recreational boating restrictions, shipping restrictions? What are the? We're talking about what's going to be the access for people in the future, right? So it's
Plus, Mark.
Yeah.
We have a lot of companies along where this CAD cell's supposed to be, proposed to be, right? We have a lot of fish houses along that shoreline on both sides of the river. Mostly on Fairhaven side is mostly residential, but on the New Bedford side is mostly where people work. You have a lot of fish houses on that part of the. Are you going to warn these people when there is a violation of the air? Are they going to stop work? This is a question to the EPA. Is there any kind of system where if there is a protocol where if there is the standards are high, are you going to inform these companies, these citizens that are working in these fish houses to stop work and leave the area?
If there was an exceedance,
Reimburse the fishermen?
we would certainly stop working and notify any receptor that would be at risk. Typically,
My question is, do you have this plan in place right now? Do you have a
yes, we do actually. We do have an air monitoring plan in place for the entire harbor.
No, what I'm saying is, for the companies that are along the shoreline, if something happens and the air quality is bad, what's the protocol to contact these companies and tell them their employees are at risk?
Okay, we've never seen that to date, okay? And
But you don't have one.
in the upper harbor specifically, which is, 10 times worse.
The Upper Harbor is another story because, most of that area is low-income area, so it doesn't matter. You guys are going to do it anyway.
No.
Listen, Eileen,
Well,
I know this is an environmental justice issue because I'm sitting here, right? I don't see anybody from the Belleville Avenue area or anybody from the Fairhaven side that lives along that shoreline. He does. Thank you. I don't see.
We're not singling out or looking at anything other than receptors, human receptors, and we look at the types of activities, whether it's a residential. We have lower numbers for residential, and we have a different number. It's all been developed back in 2001. Frank, by the way, that Jacobs is not the first air monitoring. It was in Foster Wheeler, 2001.
I know what you're telling me. This is nothing new to me.
What I'm saying is, we will also look at where we're dredging, where the CAD cell will be, and we already have specific locations that we think are critical and important. We will also probably add locations, depending on where this CAD cell is located.
Well, can I just say real quick, not to that effect, but you're talking about monitoring and telling people what's going on in air monitoring if they're, we did the program at Airbox where we had the text messaging and Twitter and set up we have talked about doing something similar there.
Digital divide.
No, not just the digital.
That's all well and good.
No, can I just finish really quickly?
Don't stop me here because
I was talking.
these people are working in the company, right?
Yep.
They don't get
Exactly. So we have contacts in all these companies. We can go to each one. We did it at Airvox. We talked to Titleist. We talked to Precise. We talked to everyone around there. We're absolutely will do the same thing wherever this CAD cell ends up.
but the thing is the disruption of business. Now, would these companies want the disruption of business while you guys are dredging and a mishap happens? This is commerce.
So I got it up here. I can guarantee that one of these sessions I know is going to be exclusively focused on air quality. I would argue. So for under air quality, we're going to cover monitoring, the mitigation and all of these notification procedures.
The,
We're gonna go at every one of the challenges to notification.
One last thing. My name's Ed Rivera. I'm president of Hands Across the River Coalition. I am not against commerce. I want the dredging. I want the casino. I want the railroad. I want everything that's going on. I want business to flourish in New Bedford. I want the fishing industry to do very well. I don't care of anything, but no PCBs in the river. We have enough problems with PCBs. They wanted to do the cat cell, they wanted to dredge the channel and put that stuff in it, all well and good. Do it as quickly as possible, get it done and over with. No PCBs. I want the business. This is for our grandchildren. All the businesses that come to New Bedford, this is employment for them. But I don't want to repollute the river 20 or 30 years from now and say, oh, there's a mishap. Hands Across the River will not stand to repollute the river with PCBs. That is the most toxic substance in the world right now for our carcinogen. Most of these people are local fishermen, you know. The other issue, we have a lot of people that actually still eat out of the inner harbor. You have a cat cell design you want to put in front of the hurricane barrier. Put it on the other side of the hurricane barrier, out in open water. And Mark, you're a coalition of Buzzards Bay, you should be against that. This is my stand as president of Hands Across the River. You want a cat cell for the navigational dredging? All well and good. No PCBs in it.
In terms of the emergency notification, the Harbor Development Commission, we have an ability to do that by email.
But okay, but getting into the details of how everybody hears about this, we're gonna cover this in depth.
It is not a new subject.
Right.
It's a subject you can imagine if you have a sense of what the upper Hudson looks like. That when they're dredging in the upper Hudson, in the many areas where you could throw a baseball across the river, some of us could anyway. And there are marina areas there, and there is dockage there. And it was the same sort of thing. A, the interference of the dredge with normal access to the docks. And B, the water quality issue. I said there were a number of exceedances, and there were notifications being passed around. So there are protocols around, there's some examples of how to behave and all of that. And I do agree with you. We'll find, I remember those signs in the harbor down here. There's also personal contact that can get the word out as well as digital.
Okay, so I want to move on to how we're going to tackle this. We've got the universe up here, I'm assuming. Nobody saw that, we're missing something big. So there's the universe of issues. The challenge here, I think, is the expectations for these technical meetings, the timeline we have for them, how it syncs with what the EPA is thinking for CAD cell construction. How do we prioritize this list so that we look at the right stuff immediately and we do it in the right level of detail to know what's going on here. So I'm hearing just from that brief discussion here that job number one, and it might be a couple meetings because this is really the root of the whole thing, is sort of appropriateness of this location. It's about the material and the site. I'm hearing that is meeting number one. And so the question becomes, when can, in my mind, anybody, Frank jump in or other people, when can EPA, HDC, Apex, when can everybody be ready to bring the information needed to evaluate all this?